Hello, everyone. Welcome to Tech Down Over, episode number 23. Here we go. It's not working.
I told you I was going to have to sing.
You know, who said tech is fun?
Oh, that's
Just
right.
kidding. All right, we got it working. We got everything working right now. My gosh. Anyway, it has to do with controller and this and that and all the other fun stuff. But we are working. This is Tech Down Over, number 23. I'm Rick Zanotti. I'm the Up Over Here guy. And joining me not too far away in Melbourne, Australia, is Jeff Blanchard, our Down Under guy. So, Jeff, it's been a busy week in tech, hasn't it?
Yes, certainly has, and just managed to fit a few hours of work in between it as well. So that always makes a bit of a change as well. So
That's true.
But there's been just so much happening, and of course, throughout the show, we'll probably have a talk about the Apple event, which I tried to avoid watching it and doing that. I thought, no, everybody else will be watching it, but it's one of those things whether you love it or hate it, you've just got to watch it.
Yeah, actually, I didn't watch this one. I haven't had the time, and I was trying to watch it this morning and didn't have the time. So, but I know what went on, and it's a little interesting. All right, Jeff, shall we? Let's see. What are we going to talk about first? Why don't we talk about Lightroom first?
Yeah, okay. So the Lightroom, I saw with interest that there's a new version of Lightroom coming up, and it sort of snuck up on me. I don't know if you knew about that, but it all of a sudden just popped up. I thought, I wasn't aware there was a new version coming. So
no, and I knew there were some new features that were going to be introduced, but I didn't realize the extent of features.
But some things like, but some of the things I thought I was always doing, but it says advanced conversion features for black and white monitoring,
right?
And things like face recognition. But it's the sort of thing I don't use a lot. But then again, what I'm trying to get into with Lightroom is using all the metadata to organize your photos, but there's so much on there. With the face recognition would really be a great feature, really, to help you a lot along the way.
Especially if you're trying to categorize via everything that has to do with faces. Let's say you're doing portraiture, but you also like to do landscapes. So you say, I want to select. I didn't tag all my portraits correctly, so you could do a batch run through everything, and it'll find all of your portraits based on the face recognition.
And the thing I love with Lightroom is that it doesn't just jam everything into a database.
No.
It's still you've still got your hard drive with all your photos in the correct location, and that you're just using that to manage it. And yet then you can move it through Lightroom on your hard drive, but it does warn you. But if you switch it off, you've still got all your photos and not in one great big database.
That's right.
You've got to export all of them as well. They also said they had a sophisticated healing brush, better healing brush, and with you saying with the landscapes as well, they've always had the auto leveling on the horizon, right. But now it says they've got the upright straightening.
Well, it sounds like the whole goal is to be less and less in Photoshop, so you don't have to constantly get out of Photoshop to do this. And you know, when you talk about black and white filters to get right the tonal, the correct tonal representation, you know, most people probably don't realize, unless they're really photographers or anybody else, that actually everything is defined in black and white and grayscale. And every tone, every grayscale value is then converted into a picture or color value. And
well, and I'm doing that these days. Is I'm using Lightroom more and more than Photoshop, because Photoshop you probably more so do it to alter the image, not just tweak it. And let's face it, if you want to be a good photographer, you know, adjusting the exposure, and that's fine. But when you're replacing the whole image, and that, it's not photography anymore. Right. It's it's just a skill in your Photoshop. But just adjusting the exposure and doing that, just getting rid of a few blotches on there, and that's what Lightroom's really great at. So you can still have and then you're not tempted to manipulate your photos too much. That's what I find, and I really do like that on there. I did see there was I was looking around on this, and I just found a great quote from somebody doing a photo site. See if I can find my little quote. I did put it up here somewhere. I can see if I got it on there. Oh, I might come to it later on in the end of the show, but it was a great quote about. He said, "I always thought good photos were like a good joke, were like good jokes. If you have to explain it, it's just not that good."
That's probably true.
And I thought, gee, that's real. And he said that's a way how to analyze it. So if you can show somebody a photo, and they say, "My God, look how beautiful and gorgeous that scenery and all." Yes, it's a good photo. If you say, "Yeah," so what is it? Yeah, that's when you just said. But that's what I'm liking with the Lightroom. I'm getting into it more and more as it's as I use it a little bit more. It just becomes more familiar, and I see with interest. And you're quite a fan of Scott Kelby. I see you like
good.
His training on his Kelby One.
I like the Kelby One training.
And I just saw today that he does a weekly thing about 10, 15 minutes on Lightroom. Mm-hmm. So he's doing just quick shots of Lightroom. So I thought I'll have to find out where that is and subscribe to that and watch that. So
he's got some great podcasts. And I love Mia McCormick and Larry Becker. In fact, we've got invitations out. I think we have to re-invite them because I wanted to get them on the show and talk about their photography and video. I love both of them. They're both very, very good. Mia has done some great training. And in fact, I don't know if you saw this, but on the Kelby One training, they have a Canon 70D
all right.
a training series where Mia and Larry both explain the camera. It's a very good training series.
Oh.
And I like Kelby One. They're a little bit different from Linda. I like Linda a lot too. They're a little more hands-on.
I was going to say that what I found from Kelby One is rather than just saying Linda just shows you how to do it, but Kelby One sort of gives you, I think, tasks to do and gives you a suggestion, a project to do, and gets you involved on how to do it, not just always just showing you, but getting you interested in all the different techniques and that, I think, rather than just showing you how to do it.
That's true. Now I have an image that's going to come up here, and this is on the classic iPod. I'm not quite sure why we have this one because I must have missed this in your note, but
okay.
The old classic iPod, we had so many of these, and now it's ancient. I remember traveling cross country, looking at that classic iPod, watching movies.
Well, I used to at first. I used to be lusting after that at first. I was saying, I've got the crummy old iPod that just has the dial, and I thought, this one with the 5mm screen, colored screen.
It was amazing. I mean,
and it was just.
And it was small, but it fit in your hand, and you could actually watch a movie with that. It was small. It was like 2.5-inch screen, maybe diagonal. And
I heard I was listening to, as we said before, the No Agenda, no, it wasn't. I think it was one of the other ones, and somebody said about. Well, didn't you listen to that on your iPod? And he said, "What? Where are you? How old are you?" Because it said iPod. Who has an iPod? It's either on your phone or.
Well, they still make the iPod Touch, which people forget.
And the Nano, I think they're still making.
They still make
the Nano in the stores the other day. But
I love the Nano. They were so easy to lose. I actually lost the one I had.
Well, I did get one, but I got it given to me, so I gave it away because I just couldn't be bothered with it. It was just too. If you didn't have one, it'd be great, but it was too small to even worry about figuring out how to get music or do anything onto it. But I'm amazed that the Touch still sells because I would have thought there would be tons and tons of old iPhones around there that would do the same sort of job that you could get for next to nothing.
It's amazing.
It is.
Now, we're also going to talk a little bit about streaming today.
And we will, because we did look at, I saw there was quite a good device out there called the LiveStream Broadcaster Mini. And it was sort of brought to my attention from our friend Colleen Sun Lee. She sort of said, "Hey, have you seen this?" And I thought, gee, no, I hadn't. And it was a great little unit. I thought if you're at an event and you want to do something like this, but you don't want to take along your computer and that. It's just a little device that can fit onto the shoe of your camera.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. And I have one similar, which is called the Teradek Video. And that one works pretty well. I'll tell you, configuring them is a pain in the behind. Literally. Those screens are so small, and try typing on them. They're really a pain because you have to hit letters and use your little arrow that they give you. It's not that easy to do unless you can connect to it and do it more quickly.
I can definitely relate to that, because even like with the smart TVs, have you ever had a smart TV and trying to log into the network? You just give up in the end. Just even to do your password, it's 3 hours. And so something like that would be even more so. But I suppose, and I'm not too sure, it would be a great idea if you could connect it to your computer, configure it, and then disconnect it. But I don't think
because this looks very small, and I think we're seeing the backside of it. On the front, there's a little panel which you could use if you're on the road, but I'll bet you money it's not that easy to use unless they have an app that allows you to do it from your phone.
Well, that's right, because let's have a look, because it does say it's got the HDMI port and connects via Wi-Fi to send the live 1080p video stream, and it says it's about 2.8 by 2 inches, so it's not a very big unit, and it's an update to an older product. Must admit I didn't see the older product, and it runs on the internal built lithium-ion batteries, and it has about 2 to 3 hours, runs for about 2 to 3 hours.
Which is okay. The one I have only runs about an hour, so this is better.
And then it charges via the micro USB.
Yep.
And then it says pairs to Bluetooth using your LiveStream apps on your iOS and Androids. And it says use the built-in LCD menu screen. But it doesn't say how much, but as I said, it's probably that small. It hasn't got a measurement.
Yeah, trust me, it's charming. You get one line that scrolls across and you can't see for the ending from the beginning. It's really charming.
Yeah, but something like this, if you're doing an event, it's not too bad in price by the looks of it, for about $295. And there's a $495, but I don't know what the difference is between the $295 Pro or and the $495. Maybe it's got a bigger screen or some bigger output or something.
I suppose one of them may have a power source or something else.
Yeah, and then as I said.
Now, it comes with a camera, or you can buy a camera for it?
You can. Well, it comes with, as you see on the shot there, it's just something that you just put onto the camera. It doesn't come with a camera.
Oh, that is not the camera. Okay, I was thinking they sell that too.
No, they've got a picture of one like one of the C1, the XF100 Canons with it on the top.
Which is a nice camera.
I think you had one of them, didn't you?
No, I never had the XF1. I had the Vixio 1000. Which was the professional one. It was very good. It lasted 4 years, and then it just didn't work anymore, and it wasn't worth fixing it.
No, they're not these days, electronics. But so then it comes to the next thing where we'd have to decide, well, where do you stream the thing to? We're streaming at the moment, as we said, on Ustream. And you might see, if you're watching live, you might see the occasional ad on there. Right. And there's a lot of different options around. But you've been investigating a few different ones, haven't you, Rick?
Yeah,
what did you find?
One that I think you had right here. I haven't looked at this one yet, and that's DaCast. I just have a natural tendency not to like DaCast. It sounds like duh. Yes, we all have to be rappers now. I'm just not crazy about that. But anyway, it might be good. I just haven't tried it out. I think this is one of the ones that Tom Sinclair is using, if I'm not wrong.
Yes, he's talked about that a few times, and I'm still a bit greening knowing what the costs mean on there. But because all I'd probably be interested in is when you want to stream it live. I really don't care about keeping it up there so we can play it through there.
Right.
Because you'll broadcast it on Vimeo and YouTube.
Sure.
So you only want it as a live thing and maybe there for the next day. Yep. Like Justin used to do we used to have it there for a certain amount of time, and then it was gone. But all you need to do, and I think maybe DaCast does that, but if you want it on there and want people to watch it 50,000 times, it's going to cost you.
Right. And so the two main ones that do that are LiveStream and Ustream. Ustream has a very nice system to archive everything forever. you don't have, I think you have 2 terabytes or more, 10 terabytes of limit. They don't have a lot of limits. And that's $99 a month, though. And you do get HD streaming. I tried Vaughan.tv, VAUGHN. It's VaughanLive.tv. It's okay. It's real easy to stream on it. It's easy to set up. It looks like it streams at least it seemed to stream at 720 when I did it from home. The problem is once it's done streaming, it's gone. It's only for the live event. It doesn't have a channel where you can see all of your past streams. So from that point of view, I didn't really care for it that much because it wasn't quite what I was expecting in terms of streaming. I thought at least you could get to your archive, or the people who are watching could get to the archive, and that to me made more sense.
Yeah, but there was also one I just saw yesterday that I didn't have time to investigate it, but it was only on iOS devices, but it was called Meerkat. Have you heard of that?
No.
Have you heard of Snapchat?
Yeah, I've heard of Snapchat.
Snapchat. Well, it was something I'd never seen this before, but it was a similar sort of thing. You just start streaming, and they're just showing it on the Mac Break Weekly, I think it was, on Leo's show. And when they just did it live on there, as soon as they switched on, there was 40, 50, 60 people watching on the stream. But it's one of those things, it's only available for that day, and then it's gone. But it was quite interesting to have a bit of fun with. I might have a look at that. But it was called Meerkat. And, okay. But it was just amazing that they said they just switched on, and as soon as they switched on, there was 50 people watching them.
Yeah, and you wonder, how does that happen? I had 46 people watching me yesterday. I have no idea who they were. 46 people saw me?
Well, it may be just us. We advertise it, and then nobody comes and watches.
That's
so
right.
maybe it's just. But we are. But being fair to that, we are in 3 o'clock on a Friday afternoon, where most people are still at work,
right.
or where I am here. It's 9 o'clock in the morning now. It will be 8 o'clock when we go back for fall.
No, that's true.
So it's not sort of 6 o'clock at night where everybody would. And usually when we're testing these things, that's when it is. We're testing it when everybody's home. But it's quite interesting. I also had I looked at the YouTube, and what was you saying that you needed 1,000 subscribers?
Yes, you need at least 1,000 to be able to stream through YouTube, and that is an option. I think. Once we get there, I think we're at 300, and I'm starting to put little messages saying, "Please subscribe."
Well, the thing is, I just went on to there because I looked at that and I saw that, but it was quite a while ago. That one where it said 1,000.
Oh, you think they lowered it?
And I went into all the settings where they said, and it was allowing me to schedule.
Oh.
But I thought I've got to test it and I thought, well, I must have at least 3 followers.
Now, that may be one thing that's a pain, though. I think you have to really reset everything every single time you stream, and that is just.
And maybe that's what the difference is. When you've got 1,000, you get you Ustream, you get a permanent address or something where you just say go.
If you have to go every single time and do your stream keys and do your special RTMP server or RMTP server, that's time consuming.
Well, I'm just going to have a test of this because it looked like all I had to do was schedule an event, like put a date and a time and how long you wanted to go for. But I'm going to have a try at that. But
well, if you want to try tomorrow night, give me a call and I'll do it from home with you. I can be the subject.
Because it's always the only thing you think nobody's going to be watching, but as soon as you think that,
I know.
Well, everybody's watching.
They're
I remember with Justin
by the way, those
TV,
46 and 65 you had, everyone government agents.
Oh, that's right. But I remember when, like I said, we didn't realize how lucky we were actually with Justin TV, did we? Until it was gone.
I liked Justin. It was easy to set up. It was easy to use. You had multiple channels, and it was only like $65 a year. It wasn't bad, and unfortunately, they went away. And Twitch, which was theirs, that is really only for gaming. Well,
and then they clearly say, get out. It's not unless you're doing gaming. You really don't. They don't want you there, and you're not allowed to do that.
Right.
But I clicked on a stream on Justin, and I just had a few people. Oh, just caught that, and I thought, gee, just for a test one, it was quite good because it sends out to your followers saying that something's online. So that was good to see. But you also, so would you say there was something called DaCast? live?
Yeah, I was originally a VIP member. Then they lost everything. Then they couldn't find anybody sign in, and for $50, I just said I don't care. I'm going to lose it. I'm not even going to go after it because they lost everybody's logins. I don't think they're that well run. That's my theory. It's not a bad service, though. It tends to appeal more to the the rocker types. There's a lot of music, and that's okay. A lot of these have that. But it doesn't look like a real professional broadcasting service, which, Ustream is more professional in that respect. Now, for $50 a year, no complaints. We did get it to work. I think they stream HD, but they have just issues, and I'm not sure that they keep an archive of what you do either. Not sure. They may.
But I think that's the thing. You can't depend on that on either of them. Like they did for Justin, it was there for ages, and then all of a sudden they started losing things. But we didn't know in the background that there was slowly getting ready to shut down.
Which explained why they didn't care anymore. The bandwidth had gone down the tubes.
Yeah.
The support was over. They just didn't care. They should have just probably shut it down 6 months before that. But I guess they had commitments. And. So from that point of view, Now, as I'm looking over here, we have the new MacBook lineup. Well, that's the iMac, isn't it? What's that MacBook?
Well, I'll tell you one thing while we're talking about that. If you had a look at just the new MacBook at the moment, just the MacBook. But one thing I really loved about that is just looking at the Apple site. I don't know about you, but I just love the site's so clean.
Yes.
And it's just got, how people are doing with this parallax scrolling. They're doing things coming in from left, right, and center.
Yeah.
There's just a touch of scrolling. It's so well done. It's, if you go in there and just scroll down, it's really well done just on that MacBook Pro.
Now, is there any truth to the rumor that Apple will now charge you to visit their website as part of their campaign to get more money?
I haven't heard that, but that there's nothing. Never say never.
Never say never. You heard it here
Never say
first.
never. That's right.
See, if you guys were in the chat room right now, you'd know what's going on.
Well, what I did do though, just said in the pre-show was. I tried not to watch the Apple event because I thought, no, it's just going to be another 2 hours I've got to watch. But I quite enjoyed it. It wasn't too bad. But then they introduced a few different things at that, and it wasn't just about the watch, which I was a bit afraid it was going to be just the watch. But the first thing they started off with is the collaboration with HBO. So having HBO now for the Apple TV for a subscription of $14.99 a month, and the first month free. But I thought that's good for you guys. I thought, when will we get it? I don't know.
I don't know what incentive there is for that one, because if you really think about it, a lot of your cable TV and they already come with that. So it's an extra cost that I'm not sure it's warranted or anybody really cares about. It's interesting.
But it would appeal to somebody like me because I have no cable.
Okay.
But if they had, and things like the HBO is about the only one. Like, I'm not into sports, whereas a lot of cable has tons of sports.
Right, that's true.
On it. But the HBO is probably about the one thing I want, and how they're selling it as well. They say get it for the new Game of Thrones, and that's that will keep it going. And say get all
now,
the.
Have you seen Game of Thrones? Thrones.
Yes. Yep.
Was it good?
You know what? Somebody gave me the first season ages ago and said, "Oh, you've got to watch this. It's about this." I thought, "Oh, what a load of rubbish this is going to be!" And it took me nearly how long's it been out? More than 3 years or something.
Has it been that long? Yeah, you're probably right.
It took me nearly 2 years to watch that first thing. And then I thought, I've got nothing better to do. I put one episode on. I thought, this look, and I just couldn't put it down.
So it is actually kind of addicting.
I've got the other series, and I thought, oh God, what have I been missing? But the thing is, I'm all up to date now, and just wait. I'll just watch one a week.
Now, are they done? Are they done with the series? It's over, right?
No. There's
Still
a new
continuing.
one coming out. That's what HBO were advertising with Apple. They're releasing this so you can get the new series starting in your next
now,
rating
have you
season.
read the books?
I haven't, but I might even go back to do that. But like I say to everybody that may be interested in it, if you don't like violence, sex, or vulgarity of any sort, don't watch it.
So what you're saying is it's a family show.
Oh, it's a anything that's taboo, bad, evil, mean, horrible.
It's in there.
Well, in the third episode, they've done them all by the third episode. And one thing I like about it, like a lot of shows, it's predictable. You say, oh, well, they can't kill him. He's the star. They can't do, they've got to keep them on. Well, you never know what they're going to do in that show. So it's just, I think in the first 5 seconds as a named star, then he's gone in about 5 seconds.
So it sounds like our Congress and White House having fun.
Well, that's it. But maybe that's where they got some of the ideas from. Yes. I don't know, but it's quite good for that. But I also, with the Apple event, there must be, I would think, like a new Apple TV coming out. This is what a lot of people are predicting, because they've reduced the price on theirs from their 99 to 69 to get more out there in the world.
Well, everybody else is at about the same price. You've got Roku and you've got the Amazon Stick and all that. They're all about $50 to $70.
But the thing is, with a lot of them as well, it's like I would like to get the Apple TV here, but it's very hard to justify, because all these smart TVs have got pretty much the same things. The only thing that really attracts me to the Apple TV is that I can just press a button and stream me iPad or me MacBook Pro through the TV with like you do a not a Comcast. What's the other one? Chromecast, is it?
Chromecast. I did not like Chromecast. I found Chromecast quality to be inferior.
Oh, well, I've had a try of the Apple TV one, and I was quite pleased.
Oh, it's great.
With
Apple TV is great.
And it does an excellent quality.
Now, you actually saw it in our offices when you came.
Yes, I did. That's right.
And it's clean. It streams very cleanly. The sound is good. It's a good device. I've had 3 of them already, and I really think they're the best one out there of all of them. It's a little tedious sometimes with every one of them navigating and typing things in, but I wish you could use a keyboard to do that. But I guess it's not easy. But it's a nice device, and I do use it to watch old series and things like that, and they run Netflix and they run other things, so you have access to your Hulu. You have access to a lot of different things.
Well, that'd be great when we do get Netflix. They're talking about that for this year, but like everybody says, we'll get all the stuff that nobody wants over there first, and then we'll get some decent quality.
Now, you're a science fiction buff, and you know I am too. Have you watched Interstellar?
I haven't yet. There's been a lot of hoo-ha about that. I'm just waiting to see. I haven't seen it on DVD yet, but I don't tend to get out to the pictures these days.
No, I don't either.
With
but
work
it looks
and what
interesting.
you end up going by yourself, and that's no fun. So I'd rather wait for and you've all got big screen TVs and the sound systems, so you can get a good sound. But from all accounts, it sounds like it
sounds interesting.
It's good, because the reason why I think it must be great, because nobody's probably been able to download it and pirate it very good. So it must be a good one.
Yeah, I'm going to check to see if it's on Netflix or Amazon this weekend. I may look at it's a 3-hour movie. 2 hours and 59 minutes. I don't. They cheaped out on the last minute. They could have gone to 3, but no, they had to cheap out.
But I had a lot of people talking about it and saying, a lot of the concepts and all that. It's not just science. It said
it is science. I mean, they're going.
It's science fiction, but a lot of the things that talk about are fact. They're not just making up all the different things that they talk about.
I think you probably have access to National Geographic shows. They did a 1 hour or 2 hour special on it in National Geographic of the quantum physics behind it. So that actually sounds really interesting.
Yeah, but because they said the people behind that really went to town to make sure, and they said
I think the producer is a quantum physicist.
They did say that, and they said people will watch it. You actually come away and you've learned a lot about our universe.
That's cool.
After watching this film.
Yeah, and the effects they said are incredible, because you don't really realize you're looking at effects. It's so well and seamless within.
And I like these science fiction films where it's not just all battleships and shooting big battle cruisers, and that it's quite good to see just because I think science fiction has just all got to be like Star Wars, but it doesn't have to be like.
It's a bit much.
With the Apple event as well, he was talking about the new MacBook, and it says it's about it's their lightest and thinnest one ever, and my goodness, it is thin. It's about 2 pounds.
Wow.
And I think it is small. It's 13.1 millimeters. Thick. And that really gets me as well, because all you guys, you never talk in millimeters.
Right.
Yet when you want to make it sound really small, you talk in well, Apple do. They talk in millimeters.
Right, but other than that, it's always inches.
Because inch sounds thick, doesn't
Big,
it? When
yes.
you're talking old thing, it just sounds big.
Yeah.
I don't know, but one of the good things on there to make it small, they've had a new keyboard, so they've got videos on their site, which I won't go into too much if people can watch that. But rather than the old way they do it, if people got the keys on the side, it would half press it down and then get it in. But they've done
Right.
it so it presses evenly and straight into there, and each little keyboard has a little LED on it for its light, so it's not just one light panel behind it.
Interesting.
Each one has its own little light onto it. So, and they're saying this should have a 9-hour battery, and then they say that's an all-day battery.
Right,
So,
right.
well,
But they
to
could
me,
consider a full working day.
full working day, but one of the things that's I think that's it seems to be upsetting a few people, but I don't know why. But they've got the new USB-C connector on it.
Right. Now, is that the USB 3.1 standard?
That's the new standard. Yes, that's right.
Yeah, and that's
they said
smart.
there was-
The reason people aren't happy is nobody has it.
well, that's
It only
the thing
came
is
out in
they
March.
They said the standard came out last year, and as I said, there's only one person doing it. But maybe this is a good thing, because once Apple do it,
Everybody will get back into it.
It will make it.
And it makes sense. It's a lot. I think it's 10 gigabytes a second transfer.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like Thunderbolt 1.
Well, and that's one of the things, because it's with this new one, this new MacBook. It only has one connection. The power connection, that's the only one that's there. So it uses that USB 3 to do the power as well.
Right.
So there's no other connection on that device.
Nice.
But what you can plug into that, you can plug into the power. You can plug in the USB, the display port, HDMI, or the VGA.
Yeah.
But no Thunderbolt. But there's some people complaining about that. But it's like the old thing where we talk about Canon cameras with the C100, 300, and 500.
Right.
If this 100 had some of the great features that the 500 have, it would be a 500. And like
Sure.
people are saying, this is the MacBook, the entry. If
Yes.
it had all that, it would be a MacBook Pro.
That's right.
And it said, and this is aimed at people who love their iPads but want more, but don't want a laptop in that size. So it's, and like myself and you, if you just wanted to have all your email, just like you didn't want to do video editing, you might want to look at a few photos. This was still great to have. So you
Sure.
could slip it in.
Well, it's
into
basically an iPad
briefcase.
with a built-in keyboard almost.
That's right, and it was quite amazing to see that somebody had a story today that says the circuit board on this machine is twice the size as of an iPhone. That's all the
Wow.
electronics that's in it.
Is that amazing?
It's said, but most of it was said, I think it was about 80% of the innards is battery. They've done this really layered, like thin layers
Yep.
of batteries joined to contour, so where it goes
Wow.
thinner, the battery goes right to the edge.
That's
So-
amazing. So we've got about 4 or 5 minutes left. Why don't we talk a little bit about the Apple Watch?
Yes, that's.
Now, I
was
don't have any
ano-
screenshots of the Apple Watch today. You know, it goes from 300 something to about 500 for normal human beings. And then you have 10,000 minimum for their gold-plated watch, and then it goes all the way up to 14,000. And from what I heard, those are, a lot of them are women's sizes, and you literally have to pay for the 14 to get a men's size. So,
Well-
very interesting.
But like people have been saying, even they're saying they're going to be limited edition. But
Right.
like the people who were going to get the $10,000 and $14,000 watch, like there was a show that was saying it's like me and you saying spending $20.
Right.
To
That's
them,
true. It's people with a lot of
50
income. But
Yeah.
why would you buy a watch that will be outdated within 1 to 2 years?
Well, that's the thing is, and if you're paying that much, it's it's a fashion accessory. But that's what I like with my old Tissot here. I bought that 5 years ago.
Yep.
And no matter if the company goes out of bankrupt or whatever, as long as I can get a battery, it will still go for
Right.
probably the next 20 years. But
Now, there is one thing. In today's day and age, with the levels of crime and with the level, carrying a watch that says "steal me" is not a good idea. Especially if you live in a big city.
Well, remember when the iPod, when we talked about earlier, when that first came out, all the kids were getting mugged and robbed coming home from school. All they had to see was the white earphones,
and you're done.
Now it's calmed down because they know everybody's got one of them, so they just hit anybody over the head now with it. But they've got a pretty good chance that everybody's got a good phone or a good thing. But you're quite right. It's if you've got one of these new watches on there. But I was quite interested to see that it actually does work independent for the time. I was a bit scared if your phone was out of range, you couldn't even see the time. But it still does work independently.
Now, what I saw was they had very pretty faces to the watch. They look nice, maybe better than some of the other ones. But I don't like square watches. So for me, I have an immediate dislike of it. I never cared for the square watches. I'm looking at the LG smartwatches, maybe one I get. Because I kind of like the idea of a smartwatch, not because I care about communicating. I just like the electronic part of it.
If you had a look on the Apple site, they're advertising the watch in about 3 in, I think it is. It's got the Mickey Mouse face.
Yes,
but they all have the Mickey Mouse face. They all can do that. But the people are saying that one's going to sell the most because people will think that's the only one that's got the Mickey Mouse face. So for the kids, but
I can just see it now. Somebody pays $14,000 and puts a Mickey Mouse face on the watch.
Well, yeah, that'd be ridiculous. But he does tap along with the thing to do the seconds. He does tap along for that. but it just has the normal conventional watch face. But I don't think personally I'll be racing out to get one. So,
same here.
I've even been looking at the Android Wear one, but they're much cheaper. But
they are. Some of them are nice. Now, like I said, the LG, it gets one of the best reviews, and that's one I'm looking at. I think it's about $250.
Yeah, I might give that one a try too because it's not that much to invest.
No, and it looks classy.
On that, but it's really quite a different market now there with a watch. So the only thing is it probably will destroy a few watchmakers out there with whether it's Apple will definitely take a lot of watches from everybody. So it'll be interesting to see how the watchmakers survive from that. But I'll watch there's a video on them making the watch band, and it's. That sometimes they do go overboard. Sometimes you'll just have to listen to it. I can't put on the voice but they're going crafted from one piece, and they're just saying. But they're saying one watch band will take 9 hours to make.
Right
now, you can see why it's costing $10,000 because if it's taking 9 hours to make, but I thought that's where the cost is involved because it's usually all the cost has always got to do with labor. Hasn't it? So
that's true.
Somebody said to them they've got 10,000 people making one watch, and it might take them. But because they're saying so many little links on the different ones. Because the one I like the best is the traditional metal band, like you've got on the normal metal band. And this have got a nice mesh one. But I think, like everything else, I'll wait until I've got through the first few iterations before I even consider.
Yeah, we don't know how well it's going to work, and we'll have to see. how it all pans out. A lot of people are starting to buy the Android Wears more, and mixed results. Some people love them, some don't. I think it depends on what you're used to and what you want out of it. In my case, I just want to watch and maybe something that buzzes every so often just to make sure I'm alive. But other than that, I think I'm okay.
Well, the thing is, what I do like with that is, like most of us, we're stuck to our desk most of the day, so the watch is on the bench, but just something that just vibrates. Oh, there is a message. Oh, there. Yeah. Then you can go to the phone or quickly answer it. That is a good idea. But some of the features, like, I don't know if you heard this one, being able to send your wife your heartbeat. Oh, so that makes why? What's the point?
That's a little weird.
It is, so you can tap it and say.
So your wife's sitting there and she hears.
Here, darling, I'm alive. And maybe said, well, maybe just say, I don't know, and then you can draw a little picture on your phone, on your watch.
A very little picture.
And send it to the other person.
Okay.
That's. I can sit, but no, I just don't like it when they don't need to do little gimmicky things because they do a good product anyway, and people like it for that. They don't like that. As I said, it gets a bit like some of the Android thing. Android's not a bad platform.
No, not at all.
It's just when people load it up with a lot of their junk, not the Android. That's where, what is it? The Google one? Is it the Nexus? Mm-hmm. That's where theirs seems to be the best because they tend not to fill it up with. It's just pure Android, isn't it? I think is that the one that's on the. It doesn't have a lot of the stuff like the LG and the Samsung put a lot of their stuff on, but the Google one just has the pure Android, which it makes it a lot
without
neater.
The bloatware, all that bloated software.
That's right, yes. But it's just been quite an interesting week. It'll keep everybody talking for the next few weeks, and now they won't have anything to speculate on with the Apple. They just got to wait for well, of course, there's always something to speculate.
And I think maybe our next show we should talk a little bit about something that really is disturbing, and that's net neutrality. A solution in search of a problem that never existed. And now, in our government, basically, our illustrious president now made it an executive order to take control of the internet with the FCC. And they have not yet done that, but they probably will because nobody in Congress is against that because they don't like anybody having free information. Politicals and free information really don't go hand in hand. So I'm a little concerned about that, and I think most people don't even know what happened. Well,
the thing is, just a little bit I've heard, what the main thing will probably mean, like me and you, if we do this, we'd have to have a license to do it.
Oh, I know, it's ridiculous.
Or we'll pay a fee.
And then they won't give you a license if you don't have the political opinions whoever is in power wants you to have.
And that's the thing with the internet, why it's going so well, the innovation, because people like me, I would never get the equipment and do something like this if I had to go and get a license to do that. I'm not bothered. No. So a lot of people do this because they can. They would have never ever gone to there if they had to jump through.
And this has all been pushed by a lot of stupid companies that don't have a clue what they're pushing. They think it's something else, and it's not.
It's a bit like the ham radio thing years ago. That when they regulated all that, they did that. That's nearly dead. And there still is the diehards doing it. But if they didn't do that, there would have been a bigger.
It was a wonderful community, and they basically killed it. Yeah, it's such a shame, and I don't think we've seen the total repercussions of this yet. Now there is a good chance the people will actually rebel on this one. They don't like their internet messed with, and I don't think people who voted for these guys have any clue what they would do.
And when you listen to it, I've been listening to it for the past year where they've been on about it, and 1 week you're for it, 1 week you're against it. They've got so many, the spin on it's so good. 1 minute you're for it, if they spin it the right way. If you listen to one person, then another person tells you what the truth means behind it, and you say, "Oh no," and then I still don't know who's good, who it suits good for. I just know.
Look at it this way: anytime any government gets involved with something that regulates something that the people like, it's not good for the people.
No, that's right.
That's just. I think that's basically the arbiter of truth is who wants the power. And anytime a politician wants the power, you have a problem. In fact, I was listening today. Obama did something that even Putin couldn't do. Putin could not regulate the internet. Guess who did?
Oh,
interesting.
That's
the
right.
Land of the free.
And it's also quite because whatever you do, you can bet your bottom dollar every other country in the world will do it.
Oh well, the EU wanted this too because they want to control their slaves too, the sheeple. They want to control them too. So it's just sort of a sad thing, and I don't think it's going to last long. But we may be stuck with what they really want to do is tax it. It's another great way to make money off people. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
But as I said, a lot of the great things we've got these days would never have happened if people couldn't have showed their wares and done these kicks. And because people say, no, you can't do that. It's against you. You can't do that. Well, a lot of things years ago, people would have had the good ideas, but now it gets out and somebody picks that idea up and says, oh, I'll go with that. I'll help them with that. So you never know.
All right, Jeff. Well, we are at the end of our show, a little bit past, but hey, that's normal.
Yeah, I'm glad we don't do timekeeping because our 30 minutes seems to go for about 55.
We went about 55. So we did about 3 minutes of false starts, but it's still about 55.
That's right.
Anyway, by next week we may have some different streaming going on. We'll do some more testing.
Good.
We'll see what we're doing. I do like the idea of the LiveStream device, especially if for $500 you get the free streaming with it.
Well, that would be good if you do get the if you do get the streaming. That would be a quite good, wouldn't it?
Maybe that's what the Pro gives you, free streaming with it.
Mm-hmm.
So that might be worth it. I would do that.
Yeah, but worth investigating that.
Mm-hmm.
So. I'm going to do it throughout the week and maybe go on some of these and have a go at see if I can stream and see if anything happens.
Sounds good. Well, Jeff, you have a great weekend, and next week I'm in the office, but then we are at Learning Solutions in Orlando for about 4 nights. So that should be interesting. I need a break. That'll be good. Maybe we'll go tackle Mickey or something near Disneyland.
It's good. I like the Orlando because it is a real nice place to go.
It is. It's pretty.
I actually think their Disneyland area is much better than the California Disneyland.
It's much nicer. It's also it's about 25 years newer.
Yeah,
it is
and
nice.
Plus it's not just Disneyland, whereas that's what it's the whole Orlando. It seems to be.
Though we did make
place.
the mistake about 2 years ago going to downtown Disney to eat dinner with the group from iSpring. Oh my God, it took us 3 hours to finally get a place to eat.
Yeah, I tell you, there's a place down there at downtown Disney that has a dessert called the Earthquake. You've got to have it. It costs about $35.
Wow.
$35, but it's just ice cream. It's amazing.
Huh. Where was that one?
Sorry?
Where was that one? We went to the Cafes Paraíso, I think, something like that.
And this is just as you go into downtown Disney, but it's just all it is like an ice cream shop.
Oh, I've been there. I've been to that. So they're the one. I've been to that ice cream shop. It's right near the entrance.
Yes, that's correct.
And they do big waffle cones and everything else.
Yeah. That's right, and it's called the. I think I've got the paper somewhere. I might see if I've still got it, but it's called the Earthquake.
Wow!
And I thought, you can't eat anything else after it.
Don't ever go there with Leslie with you because she'll force you to eat it.
Oh, that's right. So, but when I see something like that, I'm sorry to say I don't need much forcing. So when it's placed in front of me, as you well know. So.
All right. Well, hey, have a good one, Jeff, and we will see you next week. And if you are watching the show on Vimeo or YouTube, please subscribe and give us your feedback. If we don't hear from you, then you don't exist. Remember that.
No.
Have a good one, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye for now.